Another Wednesday has come and gone, and today I'm going to be showing you what I picked up from my local comic shop. What's up, everyone? I'm Alex. This is Graphic Novel Collector. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into this. First up, we have the amazing Uncanny Valley. If you haven't been reading Tony Fleece's Uncanny Valley, you need to. This is the 5th issue, and we are getting to the end of the story. This is a penultimate edition of the story of the arc, and holy smokes. What we have here is a young boy who is half toon. That's right, he's half cartoon. His grandpa is full toon. His mom is part toon as well. And this big bad is trying to sacrifice him for a reason that we still don't know. The last issue of this is going to be absolutely nuts. This one picked up and went crazy, off the wall, and I've been absolutely loving this story. The art is a mix of kind of like realism and obviously cartoons. There are cartoons in this issue. The thing with this book is cartoons cannot die. Okay, so how do we defeat a villain who cannot die? Well, it turns out they can be erased. So this has been an awesome episodic adventure. Very, very excellent comic book storytelling inside the pages of all the Uncanny Valley books, including issue number 5. The conclusion to this book was shocking. It was shocking. I am so stoked to see what happens in the 6th and final issue of Uncanny Valley. But if you're a fan of indie comics, if you're a fan of Tony Fleece, you got to pick up Uncanny Valley. Next up, we have the conclusion of Ram V and Evan Cable's Dawn Runner. This was a trip. If you are a fan of Evangelion or Big Max or big kaiju battles, you're going to want to check this out. It's absolutely mind-bending at this point. This last issue, honestly, was pretty nuts and has these big splashy panels. It is heartfelt. It has something to say. It isn't just big robots beating up big kaijus. It's a lot more philosophical than just that. And the ending of this story puts an excellent period to the end of this story. And it's absolutely great. The art here is absolutely gorgeous. The colors, as you can see, I am a big fan. Who is the colorist here? Just says colors by Gloria Martintelli. So Dawn Runner, if you're a fan of big giant kaijus and big giant mechs battling it out, think Evangelion, but a Western version. But it has a twist. There's definitely a twist in this book, in this series, that I didn't see coming. I don't know how you could. But Dawn Runner, Ram V, absolutely excellent. Evan Cagle, also excellent on the art. Moving on, we have Dark Empty Void by Kaplan. And Zach Kaplan, I wasn't familiar with this writer or this creative team of Chris Sheehan and the colorist Francesco Segalia. But basically, we are following this young lady who is a psychologist, and they are obviously dealing with some pretty crazy stuff. They basically created or found a dark hole, a black hole, and a person came through. And so our main character and her soon-to-be ex-husband, her ex-husband is fronting as part of this organization that has either created or found a black hole, and a person came through, and the soon-to-be ex-husband contacts her, and they need her because she is a psychologist that isn't going to rat them out to the U.S. government, essentially. They're in Alaska, and it's nuts. Like, I really liked it for a number one issue. It did what it needed to do. It set up the plot of this story. You know, I personally, I don't know about you, but I personally don't always like what number one issues of stories do. And in this one, also the art is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, I've never really heard of any of these folks, but this is Dark Empty Void. But where is I going? It does a very good job of setting up what we're doing here, the expectations, and just everything. Obviously, the fact that the two main characters are about to get a divorce is absolutely, it puts a little twist on everything. As she's talking to the gal who came through the black hole, the gal whispers something to her, and she's like, yo, we gotta send her back. This is nuts. And they're like, we don't know if we can. So basically, the gal knew everything about her, her full name, said things about her that only her closest friends or family would know. So something crazy is going on with this person who came through the black hole. Dark Empty Void. This is Mad Cave Studios. I think this is my first book I've ever gotten by them, but I am intrigued. I am intrigued for sure. Next up, we have The Autumn Kingdom. This is Oni Press. I think this is the first Oni Press book I've ever owned. Cullen Bunn, great horror writer. This is not a horror book. This is something else. Christopher Mitten on the art. And yeah, it's excellent. Francisco Segala also on the colors in this one. And the art is absolutely gorgeous, guys. The art is actually gorgeous. We are following a writer and his family, and they are on their way basically to a lake clubhouse. You can see it there. But basically, he's explaining his newest novel. He's a novelist. He's a writer. And there's this princess who is fighting, I believe, her sister in the story, in his novel. So it's a story within a story. But then his two young daughters go out into the woods, and turns out whatever he wrote is like coming to life. The evil sister attacks, and things get nuts. Things get nuts very quickly. The Autumn Kingdom. The art is excellent. Cullen Bunn can write a story. Now, this doesn't seem like it's going to be a horror story. It doesn't seem like that. But there are some creepy elements. The character design and some of the bad guys, they have like glowing eyes and stuff. It was pretty intense. I really liked it though. I don't know what to expect. This was from a suggestion from Aaron, who is one of my local comic shop's employees. And if you watched last week, he has a comic book as well, and I reviewed that, and I really liked it. So I take his recommendation pretty seriously, because he usually recommends good books. And yeah, The Autumn Kingdom, I really liked. If you're into this sort of thing, you should definitely check it out. Moving on to the last book of the week, we have Miles Morales' Spider-Man. This is issue 24. This is Birds of a Feather Part 2. I did pick up Part 1. I have it right here, but it's not a new book, so I'm not going to review this one. But basically, we are picking up, and Vulture is talking to his granddaughter, Tiana, who is, of course, friends with Miles, telling him, you need to give up the Spider-Man because he's going to cause you pain. That's all that spider people ever do, is cause their loved ones pain. Meanwhile, of course, spoiler alert, if you did not read Blood Hunt, Miles is now a vampire. At the end of Blood Hunt, he got infected. And honestly, that's what made me want to pick this series back up. I was reading it months ago, and I just fell off. Nothing against the story. It's just, I was getting too many books. But now that there's a new status quo and something really cool, in my opinion, you know, Miles becoming a vampire, I think is pretty darn interesting. But he's trying to control his bloodlust. And as we find out in the pages of this book, if you don't want to know anything, this is a light spoiler, but if you don't want to know anything, just skip ahead a little bit. Every time he uses his Spider-Man powers, he gets that bloodlust even more. So we find out that he's going a little too ham, and he's attacking Vulture, and he really hurts him. And Vulture's like, yo, I've never dealt with a spider person that is this aggressive before. And of course, Tiana's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Why are you attacking him? Why are you going this hard? And it's very clear to me that Spider-Man, that Miles is dealing with some stuff right now. Like, he doesn't know how to control his urges, and I really like it. I mean, it definitely adds a whole nother element to the character. I already liked Miles Morales. I know that a lot of people criticize the fact that he's basically just Peter Parker, and his origin and stuff is just like Peter Parker, but this is certainly adding an extra layer. So if that is something that has ever been holding you off of a Miles Morales book, pick this up because it adds another layer. You know, we're onions, and this adds another layer to Miles Morales. I really like this book. I am stoked that Miles is a vampire now. And yeah, but that is all my books this week. For me, this is a pretty big week. I know there are definitely other people who get a lot more than just 5 or 6 books. But for me, that's a huge week. You know, we out here collecting comments on a budget. But let me know if you enjoyed this kind of content. If you like pickup videos, if you like weekly content about comic books and graphic novels, if you like top 10 videos about comics, this is the place for you. Like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell on. Otherwise, YouTube literally will not tell you about my videos. And I want to say thank you to all the folks that have been subscribing. I've been getting a lot of subscribers recently, more so than usual, so I appreciate you. But yes, you are all awesome. Thank you all so much, and I will catch you on the flippy flop. Adios!